welcome to our coverage of ASUG Annual Conference and Sapphire Now 2014. I'm in the ASUG News Studio, sponsored by NTT Data, and I am very excited about my next interview. We're going to be talking a little bit about ASUG and our communities team, and there is no better person to lead that conversation than my friend Danny Pancratz. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Courtney.
This is great. This is great. So we don't get an opportunity up here a lot to talk about just what we do at ASUG, and particularly one of our most important things and foundations is our communities teams. So can you tell us a little bit about how communities is structured?
Sure. We've been very busy in the ASUG hub here, which is one of the reasons you don't see us up here with you very much. But one of the questions that we get is, what is ASUG? How can I be involved? What types of things do you guys do? My go-to answer is we try to do what this conference does, what our annual conference and our larger marquee events do, but throughout the year. And the communities team, that's me and 4 other people, as well as our senior leadership. We work with over 400 volunteers to put together the same types of education and networking event, both on the face-to-face level and also virtually throughout the year as well. So trying to do ASUG Annual Conference 365 days a year, like our Twitter handle, ASUG365. So that's at the regional level for chapters is what we call them. We have 38 local chapters. We just started a new one in Oklahoma last month. And over 90 special interest groups who are doing the same types of tracks that we're offering the ASUG content with, but doing that same thing virtually in terms of webcasts and occasional face-to-face meetings as well.
Yeah, and there's really nothing that you can't find a community for here at ASUG, and if we don't have it, we'll work to create it, right?
Yeah, and a great example of that is Jeff announced in his keynote with Fiori and screen personas and user experience being such a hot topic, we're actually going to be starting a new community or special interest group for user experience or the user interface. So we'll be sending out a call for volunteers for that, because as I mentioned, our volunteers are a key part of what we do, helping drive the conversation, schedule the webcast, reviewing content for these conferences. So whenever there is a need for a community, we'll add it in, and we have existing SIGs and chapters that have been around since we have been founded.
It's a great point, and you point out so well how the community leaders work together with the volunteers really to structure these calendars and this content all year through.
Absolutely. I like to think of our volunteers as the thought leader for whatever position they hold. Sometimes that's a little bit specific to their regional chapter, the people on the ground making the Florida chapter or the New England chapter successful. But at the special interest group level, that's especially a thought leader or a content expert, or just a customer who's really focused on getting the most out of their SAP investment. So talking to other customers about what topics are most important for the supply chain management community, or staying on top of what's new in BI, especially with all of the new analytics and data management tools that are being released or changed by the HANA platform.
Lifelong learning and education all year through, and it's so important. Now let's shift gears to a project that's very near and dear to your heart, ASUG.com. Now you were really one of the key people responsible for leading the charge and evangelizing our new website, which we rolled out a little over a year ago now, right?
Yeah, December 2012, and each year we have a volunteer meeting in January to select and review content for this event here in Orlando in the summer, but at that meeting we do some best practices sessions, update our volunteers on what new resources are available to them, and I kind of famously said that weekend that I'm all in on ASUG.com. So we've had our new ASUG.com for 14 or 15 months, or I guess longer, but we've now kind of grown with it, learned it a lot, adjusted some of the things that ASUG staff is doing to improve the user experience, and just as Fiori, screen personas, and making SAP easy and simple to use, run simple is, I believe, the phrase to take away from Sapphire is, I want our users to be able to find the content from their chapter meeting or from their webcast easily, for it to be a simple and pleasant experience that gets them to come back to ASUG.com, or really reinforces that ASUG is a place they can go to have their questions answered, or to find another customer story of implementing HANA or doing an upgrade and that type of thing. So we've tried to get better at cleaning up 20 years of content and various different workspaces and organizing our discussion forum a little bit better, adding in some new quick links, some images to kind of call attention to the things that are most searched for. We'll be continuing to do that as well, so that when you're looking for a webcast, you said, I signed up for that, I misplaced the email, so you can find it when you search for it. And that seems simple, but it's with the modern age and how rapidly technology is changing, we have to always be on the lookout for ways to improve the user experience so that people come to ASUG.com to find SAP-related content.
Oh, of course, and it's just the most poignant parallel that you draw there, really, between what everybody's been saying all week, and ASUG.com, because it requires an investment by our user, right? I mean, they have to spend some time on there figuring things out, but once they sort of see it, they're going to realize the value they can get out of it, right?
Yes, and I've learned a lot about our members since our new website, because it was going through an upgrade for us with the technology we use. And it's specific to our website or content management, but we've learned a lot and grown a lot. And as part of that, we upgraded just something in the discussion forum in January. And one of the benefits of that is, there's the bumps in the road initially, but we now have tools we didn't have before. So there is a walk me through tour of the discussion forum that kind of shows all the different functionality. There's so much that you can do with asking a question, polling the membership, searching by different keywords or a specific content tag, finding webcast recordings, and there's a lot to do, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. But with our recent upgrade of just our discussion platform, there is some user-friendly tools to help walk you through in just a couple of minutes to make you feel a lot more comfortable. And that's what we've tried to make our whole ASUG Hub experience about, is we reorganize the landscape a little bit and shift our ASUG branded giveaway items to be tied to engaging with us, because we definitely want our members to walk out of here feeling like they know how to use ASUG.com, find out when events are happening, whether it's by email, our events calendar, or knowing how to get their questions answered or find content in the discussion forum.
It's a great point, and I think we'll start to see some of the tactics that we employed here on ASUG.com in terms of gamification.
Absolutely.
And whatnot. Yeah,
yes.
That's great. Now tell me, what's your favorite ASUG.com piece of functionality?
That's a tough question. I've been really trying to get to know our discussion forum and the various capabilities and trying to improve the layout, some flexibility that we have as staff. So if anyone has any suggestions, they can always reach out to us and let us know. But I believe the most trafficked or visited part of our website is the events calendar, because we're a 365 days out of the year organization doing webcasts, almost every day of the week. I think in the month of May we hosted over 40 just from the communities team alone, not to mention our affiliate webcasts and some partnered webcasts we do with SAP. So we've added in some new functionality like a My Communities filter. So as I mentioned, Communities is 38 chapters and over 90 special interest groups, and there's a lot of activity going on. And not everyone is signed up for everything. So when you go to the events calendar now, something that we just added within the last couple months is there's various filters, and you can see just what the chapter meetings are, or just what the webcasts are, or a SIG face-to-face meeting. But one of the things we didn't have initially that we got the idea from feedback from members who are just asking how do we do this better is adding the filter for My Communities. So if you're signed up for business intelligence and supply chain management in the New England chapter, you can filter out 60 some events from the month of June and see just what's specific to Courtney.
That's
to get
great.
To the individual, to save that time and to make ASUG.com a quicker, more friendly, simpler experience for you.
That's great, Danny. Thank you so much for sharing this knowledge and giving us such a great overview of Communities and ASUG.com.
Thank you. Yeah, happy to be here.
Thanks for watching our coverage of ASUG Annual Conference and Sapphire Now. For more SAP stories, please tune to ASUGnews.com.